By far one of the biggest mysteries in Doctor Who is the unit dating controversy. If you don't know what that is, then I'll quickly explain. The first time a member of UNIT appeared was in the 1968 story The Web of Fear, being the debut of then Colonel Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart. The next time he appeared was in The Invasion a few months later, where he's now a brigadier and leader of an organisation called the United Nations Intelligence Task Force, or UNIT. Then, throughout the third and the beginning of the fourth Doctor's era, they appeared regularly until the Android invasion in 1975, where UNIT made their last appearance. Seems fine, right? Well, this is where it gets a bit deeper. In 1983, the Brigadier reappeared after not being in the show for many years, where he's now retired as a schoolteacher, and he states the year he retired was in 1976. Okay, I know what you're all thinking. This is completely fine. If the last time they appeared was in 75, then he could have retired in 76. Well, not exactly. Unlike today, Doctor Who episodes didn't take place in the year that they were broadcast, during the second, third, and fourth Doctor's era, meaning it does get a little bit complicated. In The Web of Fear, Victoria states that they met Professor Travers in 1935, which is true, as that's when The Abominable Snowmen takes place. Later on in the story, it said that The Abominable Snowmen was over 40 years ago, placing The Web of Fear in 1975 or onwards. Now this is where it gets messed up. As in The Invasion, the Brigadier states that the London incident, which is the Web of Fear, took place 4 years ago, meaning the invasion takes place in 1979 at the earliest. See where the problem is? How can the Brigadier have retired before UNIT's first appearance? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, well, it can't. The first problem mainly stems from the fact Mordrin Undead, which is the story that he reappears in, was supposed to have Ian Chesterton instead, but William Russell was unavailable, so Nicholas Courtney was invited to return. The thing is with this is that there's no way of really fixing it. Ben Aronovich even said himself that there's no way of simply retconning the problem. It's now part of the show, literally, as Russell T Davies makes a joke of it in the Sontaran Stratagem in the revival.
I've read all the files on you. Technically speaking, you're still on staff. You never resigned.
What, you used to work for them?
Yeah, a long time ago, back in the 70s. It wasn't the 80s, but it was all a bit more homespun back then.
But it doesn't end there, sadly. As in Flux, Chris Chibnall tried his own take on UNIT's origin, by completely overwriting it, even further adding to the controversy. By Chibnall's account, UNIT was first started in 1957 by General Farquhar, and the Grand Serpent, who is in disguise as a human called Prentice. They spent 10 years setting up the organisation, with Lethbridge Stewart starting out around 1967. As you can tell, this also contradicts completely UNIT's dating, adding to the confusion even further. So if you want an explanation, I'll give you this. Doctor Who is a show about time travel. Throughout the 60s and 70s, the dates of each story takes place in is never given, meaning we have to turn to expanded media to get the dates, or just make a supported estimate, like in the case of The Web of Fear and The Invasion. The main thing that we can go off also is Sarah Jane Smith. It's claimed several times that Sarah Jane comes from the year 1980, implying that the Planet of Spiders, Robot, and possibly Terror of the Zygons when Harry Sullivan leaves all takes place in 1990, which kind of adds up. It makes sense that Season 12 and 13 could have all taken place within a year, as every story takes place within a day or two, or utilises the TARDIS, which is of course a time machine. So if you want an explanation, yeah, it's ridiculous, but entirely down to one event which has just spread further contradiction further and further through the timeline. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I don't know if that made much sense, but if you enjoyed them, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. I've gotten a bit slower in videos, but don't worry, as more should be coming soon. I just have to get the scripts out and record them, etc. But it shouldn't take too long. Thanks for watching.